OK, so like with the previous 2 units, when we talked about memory safety and cryptography, now that we're in our 3rd unit, we will start with a whole bunch of definitions. So it's kind of a vocabulary-heavy lecture, but that's how these first ones go. So the first thing we'll do is we'll define what the web is. So we will define the web as a lot of data and services that you can access in other places besides your own computer. So if you want to access data on someone else's computer, or you want to go run some code on someone else's computer, or you want them to do some service for you, you can use the web to ask other computers for data or to perform services. And what the web looks like, at least for now, is a bunch of machines. Some of them are servers, and these are the machines that are providing the data to the world. And some of the machines are browsers, and these are the machines that they're not providing the data, but they are accessing the data from the servers. So for example, our computers, they're probably the browsers. So like if you open a web browser, that's the browser. That's an application that's trying to access other people's data. And if you go to Google's headquarters, they probably have some server that's running that is serving all of their data to the users. Now, something that is confusing at first and will hopefully become less confusing is the difference between the web and the internet. So first, we're going to talk about web. And the picture of the web for now is just a lot of browsers asking a lot of servers for data. And that's all we care about, is the data that's being exchanged. Later, we will talk about the internet, and that specifies how the data is being transported. So for now, we're not going to think about the internet. That comes later. So what this arrow represents for now is just magic. We don't care how the data is sent from the browser to the server. It could be a carrier pigeon sending it. It could be a wire. It could be like a magic carpet. It doesn't matter how the data is going from point A to point B. We will solve that next time. For today, all we care about is there's lots of browsers, and they're asking servers for data, and what attacks are possible in that scenario. That's the web that we care about for now. So this is our definition of the web. So most of today is going to be breaking down what the web looks like and what elements make up the web. So when you're on the internet and you're browsing websites, what things do we need to make those websites look good in the way that you see websites? So we'll talk about URLs, we'll talk about HTTP, and then we'll talk about the languages you use to write a website. So it's a lot of definitions, be warned, but it's stuff that we should know before we start going into attacks.